All right, guys, what's up? Bob has a candy kid here, coming at you with a uh, another great video, a live podcast. Um, Let me see here. uh, so I have no idea why we're not live. What the heck? I guess. Hold on. Hmm. Let's see something. Hmm. Oh, here we are. Yes, sir. Because if I go to, let's see. Yeah. All right. So let's exit that. All right. Um, so I am live. Um, so I was doing a live stream before, but my cord that I have is too short. It works, but the long cord. Okay. So we're going to talk about setups a little bit before I get into other things. So um, the setup that I have here right now essentially is I have a audio interface. Okay. Well, actually, let's start not even from that. Let's start from my computer. So a buddy of mine gave me a tower for free. He asked if I wanted it, and I almost didn't take it. And there's a reason for that, because a long time ago in high school, uh, when I played Yu-Gi-Oh, there was a friend of mine who wanted to give me his Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and of course, as a child, and as a teenager, kids would often tease me and stuff like that. Like things would happen in my life that were not so great. And so I didn't believe he wanted to give me his Yu Gi Oh deck, so I refused. So then he gave it to one of his cousins or friends uh, and stuff like that. And he was really going to give it to me. So when my friend offered me this tower that one of his friends had that he didn't want anymore, or he was going to, see if he didn't want it anymore, I almost refused. And he said, "So you really don't want one?" And I said, "Well, you know what? Okay, talk to your friend and I'll take it. And I'll build myself a brand new computer because my old computer is a gateway from around 2004. It has Windows XP on it, or 2003, and it still works. I have it just for like old school games that work on Windows XP. So I built this new computer and it has Windows 10 on it. At first, I wanted to put Windows 7 on it, but it had some issues because the new hardware, motherboard, CPU, all that, it just would give it issues. So I put Windows 10 on it. I bought it, stuff like that. And after that, I said, this is going to be my um, like gaming slash office computer. Like basically uh, for gaming and for videos and all kinds of other stuff. And it's still a work in progress. Like I'm gonna add another hard drive to it. That way I can have, you know, more storage. And that's it. I'm only gonna have the storage I have once I add the new hard drive. So um, the audio interface and the two speakers that I had hooked up to my other computer, well, both speakers at the time before I built this computer, um, they were pretty old, but they still worked. One of them I had to actually replace, but I just replaced with a newer version of the same speaker. So their speakers around like $90 to $100. You get them at a Guitar Center. They're M Audios, uh, BX5As, and they work really well. I love them. I can't complain. M Audio makes great stuff. I have one of their MIDI keyboards, a little 25 Oxium keyboard. The one you see, yeah, the one you see behind me, just over here, that one. That's my full-on Yamaha keyboard. It's an old keyboard, but it still works, and I can use it as a MIDI keyboard also. So essentially, um, I had like these action cameras, these lights. Let me actually just turn this light off over here. It's actually dying and stuff. I need to charge it. And so I like started, hooking up my action camera to my computer, um, my microphones when I did like older videos and stuff. And, it was pretty great. So now my setup is essentially I have my uh, Moanocaster light, which is right here in front of me, okay, like down here. And then I have this microphone right here, which came with the Moanocaster light. So you could say it's the Moanocaster light microphone, okay? Um, and of course, I have this other condenser microphone, which I'm actually, I have it because if I do like podcast with two people, at least I got a separate, mic for the other person. I also have lapel microphones, um, and stuff like that. Um, and I also have like a shotgun mic for interviews, and also some shotgun mics that go on, the top of my DSLR camera. Um, and actually, I'm gonna go get my DSLR camera, and we're gonna talk about like some of my stuff for photography and videography and stuff like that. Um, but and also I have like two lights so far. They're just portable lights. I can put them on top of my camera and stuff like that. But so I this is my setup right now, and I'm using a TV screen. I still have my old screen, like basically right over here is my old gateway screen that goes to my gateway computer. Um, my gateway computer, I actually moved it, and it's hooked up to the TV screen. So both computers are hooked up to a TV screen. I'm still going to keep the other screen, um, or if somebody else, I don't know, I'll keep it. You know. Um, so this is my setup right now. Basic mouse and keyboard. I mean, I do have a Steel Series keyboard. It's just their cheap, $20 non-mechanical keyboard. They call it a gaming keyboard. Um, yeah, it lights up, but it doesn't light up. It's like you press like this little button, then you press like these these two buttons to increase the light or dim the light, and it's just a solid blue light. So it's not like one of those stupid gaming keyboards for $100 that you see that's mechanical, and you know I could care less about those. Like, I'm not into that type of stuff. Yeah, on my desk, like, this desk around here, I had LED lighting around it, but that's because like I'm a raver and I kind of like that stuff, so like, 90s kind of, flashy rave stuff, or slow, like, you know into like different colors type of deal, or the same color, or just keep it stale at one color and it doesn't flash, it doesn't move, it just stays there, you know. But I took it off because we were actually cleaning this room one day, or recarpeting it or whatever, so I had to remove it in order to disassemble this table. And it's just those LED strips that you can buy. Um, but other than that, I could care less about LED this, LED that on, your computer, keyboard, mouse. I mean, the mouse I'm using, If you can see that right there, you know, it's just a generic office mouse. So, um, so like if one was to see my setup, of course they would call it a shitty setup. And I'm talking about those people who are like, man, this is shit. Here, let me give you a proper setup. No, no, no. This setup works for me. I game with this setup. I do videos with this setup. You know, I don't, this setup works. It just works. It's not something that, you know, it's not some fancy setup that doesn't work. No, it's a shitty setup, but it works. So that's, that's essentially, what I have. So let me get my DSLR camera, and then we'll go from there. Oh, and actually, I have the lapel microphones right in front of me. So I'll be talking about those. All right. Alrighty. Ooh. All right. Let's see. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, we're doing it. I want to see something here. Huh. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. We're going. Heck yeah. So, um, you check the chat. Hmm. All right. So, uh, oh, and by the way, I'm drinking some tea. It's just water with, tea. That's another healthy thing. But like I said, water is the most healthiest thing. So y'all can, you know, let me actually set the camera there. All right. So, okay. So th- this right here, this is my camera. Okay, it's an Nikon D5600, and it comes with an 18 to 35 millimeter lens. Okay. Now, why did I choose that camera? Um, I chose that camera because, well, for one, Nikon makes great cameras in the mid-range price point. Um, and so basically, um, you know, I don't really care about $3,000 cameras. Like anybody who, um, anybody who does, how should I say? Um, say, hang on, say that you, say that you have a 10-year-old child, okay, and you start teaching off of the camera you have, whatever it is. You start teaching them how to do photography, okay. Um, and so you teach them apertures, you teach them like light settings, you teach them like different angles, you teach them the different lenses, um, you know, the different settings on your camera, the microphone settings for if they're going to do videos. You teach them, how to hold the camera steady, how to use tripods. You teach them all about photography, and how to get uh, like different effects with the camera as it's handheld. Um, so say that you teach a 10-year-old child how to do that, and then you give them like a cheap camera, and I'm actually going to show you online. I'm going to use Amazon. I'm going to show you online some cheap cameras, and what I mean by cheap is, you know, like how you go on the internet or you go to a store and you see like those cameras that are $100, uh, $70, and they are like, you're just your generic point and shoot cameras. So say you give them one of those, okay, and the kid's learned all that he's learned. Well, for one, because you taught the kids settings on, let me. I don't want to show the screen because I'm going to show it here, but okay. For one, because you taught the kid different settings uh, inside the camera for different types of pictures, different environments, scenery, whatever. Um, because you taught the kid, all that stuff, he's going to go into that camera and he's going to say, well, okay, look, this camera doesn't have as many settings as that, but I can still mess with the settings that it has. So let's say for instance, he's going to take a landscape, photo of some hills behind his house, and or let's say he's going to take a picture of his house, a picture of a house, in a uh, in an open field. So it's a landscape setting with like a house and a tree. Well, because of what he learned from you, and because he's learned how to change the different settings for different types of pictures, he's gonna do the same in that cheap camera for $70, $100. You know, um, he's gonna learn how to get the best photos and video out of that $70 camera or $100 camera you gave him. You know, it's not that a $300 camera or $1,000 camera, you know, or even a $20. It's not the price of the camera. It's the camera itself. It's what you give him. It's what he already has. You know, of course, if you already gave him a $3,000 camera, and then like he sees one that's $10,000, well, it's like, does that $10,000 camera is that $10,000 camera going to give him what he needs, or can you do it with a $3,000 camera? He can do it with a $3,000 camera. He doesn't need the $10,000 camera. Same as if you gave him a same as if you gave him a $10,000 camera, and then there was a $20,000 camera. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So this camera that I have, I can take great photos with this. I have someone that I'm learning with on how to get great photos with cheap cameras, and this is a person who has a cheap camera, like a mid-range, camera, like a mid-priced, mid-range camera, and then a more expensive one. Um, you know, of course, like, yeah, I have the first gen GoPro. The action camera I have that I'm using right now, and the other one, the little head camera, the head action camera, and my DB Power EX5000, those aren't any better than the first gen GoPros. Actually, I would say these are kind of like the GoPro Heroes and the GoPro Hero 2s. I mean, except just newer. They have screens, they have Wi-Fi. Maybe a few other features like, yeah, some image stabilization. But shitty image stabilization. But at least they have image stabilization. But what I'm saying is, like, I got these because I needed extras, so I can place them everywhere, so I could get different angles, and stuff like that, and because I wanted something with a screen, um, you know, because my GoPro didn't have a screen, and stuff like that, and just in case my GoPro breaks, at least I have some cheap action cameras, that I can use, and if these break, I'll go buy new ones for $50 and under, or $100 and under. Um, yes, I still have this old camera, but the batteries do not work. I have to get new batteries for it. I can still take great photos with that. It does 720p video at 30 frames per second. So, you know, uh, that's an actual, plus. At least it's not stuck at, four, what is it, 480 at 24 frames per second or whatever. Um, let's see. There's this other camera. Uh, okay, this is what I mean by okay, and I could use, you know. Alrighty, so I have a few cameras here. Um, actually, alrighty, so this is okay. This is what I'm gonna try to explain to you. Alrighty, so I have a few cameras here. Um, okay. So basically, you know what, actually, let me, ooh, okay. Um, I actually moved my action camera back a bit. So, if you give someone, it doesn't even have to be a kid, but if you give someone like a point and shoot camera like this one, okay, which has a screen, um, has a few buttons here, and stuff like that, or something like this, you know, another screen, few buttons, and no attachment for a microphone and stuff. It just has the internal mic, but it does video and it does, takes photos and video. Uh, the video might be like 720p, 480p, depending on how old it is or how new it is. Might do 1080p at 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second. You know what I mean? If you give someone, you know, those cameras, but you've taught them a lot of stuff on like those cameras or this camera or like this camera or this, it doesn't matter. You taught them a lot of stuff about photography and all that. You took them through all these courses and stuff, you know, and then you give them this, they can get great results out of it. You know, it's not like, um, oh well, I need the $3,000, Sony, uh, camera or the Canon Mark D2 or I don't know, whatever. Like, or I need, some shitty, $25 camera. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, anybody can work with whatever you give them, you know? Um, but there also is a thing, you know, that is, do people really need a $5,000 camera? Come on, really? Like, do we need a look, okay, I'm going to make something clear, okay? And, and this is, I'm going to talk a lot about this, okay? Let's get something straight here. When you buy a car, when you go to buy a car, when you talk about a car, when your whole life is car, why? Why? Because it's a form of transportation. Does anybody need to spend $1 million for transportation? Do we really need to spend $1 million for transportation? No, we don't. You shouldn't be doing that. Why do people create $1 million transportation things, items, whatever you want to call them, vehicles? Why do we create things and sell them for I mean, and it's not the price. Well, why do you need to buy a Bugatti Chiron or a Ferrari or a Corvette? Why? Why do you need that as transportation? Why do you need to spend $350,000? Can you explain to me? I would never do that, as a matter of fact. Because transportation, okay, Well, let me say this. Because basically, um, the purpose of building transports is to get you from one place to another. That's the sole purpose. So I could say, yeah, why don't we just walk? It's the cheapest thing. It's actually free. Okay. But over time, we have basically said, well, we need something that is faster, that'll get us there quicker, more efficient. But why do we need a Corvette? Why do we need a Nissan GTR? You know, a Honda Civic does just fine. A Honda Accord does just fine. A Honda Grom, a Honda Monkey, a Honda CBR 600 does just fine. Why do we need to spend $1 million? Why do we need a McLaren P1? Why? We don't need that to get around. Honda Civic does just fine. It's actually reliable. They last forever. I'm a big Honda fan. I'm a big Japanese car fan. I support Japanese automakers. I also support uh, American automakers when they do it right, like Dodge and Chrysler and Jeep. Um, and I also support some European manufacturers when they do it right. Uh, but Hondas do just fine. Toyotas do just fine. I mean, they're reliable. They go 1 billion miles, no problem. Great gas mileage. So, so why do we need those other vehicles? For what? Well, we have them for show. That's all they're for. It's not a transportation thing. It's because someone said, why don't I build something that just gets looks, that just has the looks? It's not for someone to go to point A, point B. That's the Toyota Corolla. This is just for looks. It's just for someone to buy, put it up on a little rotating thing, and get people to take pictures of it. And that's it. That's all it's for. Okay, you want to do that? Create a little diecast model of it. End of story. Why do we need the real thing? For what? Oh, he doesn't like these. Oh, he's against supercars, all this stuff. No, not really. Not absolutely. I like Nissan GTRs. I mean, I like Nissan Skyline GTRs. I like Honda NSXs, Toyota Supras, the old 2JZs, 1JZs, Super Celica Supras. So RX-7s, Dodge Vipers. Yeah, I love them. The Hennessy Venom, Lamborghini Countach. Yeah, I have my favorites, but I don't need that stuff. That stuff's not going to get me anywhere. Actually, if I want a sports car, you know what I would get? It's practical, it works, it's cheap. Honda produced it forever. The Honda S2000. It's great. You know what other sports car I would buy? Mazda Miata. It's great. They're cheap. You can modify them. They're economical. They work. They get you from point A to point B. That's perfect. They're little roadsters. That's perfect. That's about as far as I'd go. Other than that, I'll get my Civic Type R, my Civic Si, Toyota Corolla. Uh, you know, all the sporty ones they had. Celica is just great. Those are the Toyota Celica, the Toyota um, which was the Scion uh, TC. Those are great. The Honda Civic Coupe Si is great. You can use them to get around point A to point B, but they have the horsepower. Some of them have turbo. They're great. The cost of them is cheap. It's under 20,000, under 30,000. 30,000 under. Subaru WRX STI, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. they do the same as what all these other cars do for the fraction of the price, for less than a fraction of the price. They get better gas mileage. They're more reliable. You can get the same outcome with those cars then basically you can get the same outcome with those cars, with all the other cars in that same category, as the real expensive ones, $1 billion plus. So where am I headed with this? Same thing with cameras. You don't need a $10,000 camera. Nobody needs a $10,000 camera. Because what does it do? It does the exact same thing, you know, as a cheap camera, as this. Everybody has a cell phone today. Everybody. You all have cell phones. They do the exact same thing as a photo camera or a video camera. You don't need a $10,000 camera. You don't need a $1,000 camera. Actually, I would, let me say this. I would say that you buying a $1,000 camera would be the most, should be the most. It's like the limit. Really? You can do great stuff with $500 camera, $100 camera. You really squeeze that camera for what it is, and you're going to get great stuff. A lot of the stuff you see on the internet that was done with a camera. I'm not talking about the fake AI stuff done on computers, that was not done on a camera, that was done by someone doing it with an AI program, or, AI program or some software. No. We're talking about someone who's a photographer who takes real photos with real cameras out in the real world. Okay? A lot of those photos, you'll be surprised what cameras those people have used. You will be surprised. You will be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And then they edit them. Or they don't edit them. Doesn't matter. You will be surprised. Yeah, I use this camera right here. Yeah, I use this one. $100, $70, whatever. $600, $800, $700. Okay? Seriously. Yeah, I just use my cell phone. It only cost me $100. I got this action camera. It doesn't matter if it's GoPro or some, Chinese knockoff. GoPro for $200 or Chinese knockoff for $20. You know what I'm saying? You'll be surprised. I mean, me doing this video, look at this. Let me see something here. Up. See, that's the light I just turned off. It's a cheap little light, but look at this. Sure, my face is a bit brighter. I could probably, put this light a bit back. Or I could do this and give me more yellow. Or I could give me more white. Yeah, let's make myself warm right now. So there's the warm effect. Yep. But if I want more, let's turn it off for now. Okay. Because it's been on, and I want to give you kind of a visual, like, I want you to see what the difference is. I keep looking on the screen to see what the difference is myself. So the thing here is you don't need to buy something that costs a lot of money. You don't need to spend a lot of money to get great results. Yeah, if you get a camera like this or something like this or action camera whatever, that's $5,000, but you got it for free. Well, I can't complain there. Like if someone has a bunch of cameras and they just were like, here, you can have one for free, and let's say it was one of their $5,000 cameras, great, sweet, you got it for free. But you don't need to spend $5,000 to get really good or to get great results. No, no. If you're looking to buy, I'd say for a DSLR, $800 and down. For an action camera, $200 and down. For a point and shoot camera, like this, $200 and down. For a camcorder, for those, I would at least start off at the $300 price point and go up to $600, because there's a lot of cheap ones off of Amazon you can buy, but they're just like camcorders where it's just a shell and this big old brick in the middle inside that just makes it heavy. I mean, they're okay. I mean, but camcorders usually you want to spend at least $500 to get a really good one. Starting. You can go on up, to whatever cost you want. So I'd say, at least two to $500. But you get my point. So where am I headed with this? Because I talked about cameras and I showed you a few cameras. You don't need much in life to survive and live. You can do with minimal stuff that doesn't cost too much. You can do with what you have. You don't need to continue on and spend money or get a whole bunch of stuff just to be great and successful. Now, I'm saying that, but yet I have a whole bunch of camera stuff. I have different types of microphones. Well, okay. You see, yes, you get different things for different situations. That's a different story. But if you get like a camera for taking photos and doing video, and then you get another camera and another camera for the same situation, and I'm not talking about where, like, I buy this camera and I have it facing me like this, but then I buy another one to have it face this way for a different angle. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you have multiple microphones because you have multiple people or you have, one here, or how, you have a bunch of stage lights and they have to be at different places. That's not what I'm talking about. Say you're taking a picture of women and, you're doing it with this camera. Why do you need to go out and buy another camera just to take pictures of women? You already have one. Doesn't make sense. Oh, because it has some new technology. Oh, because it's the newer. Who cares? Who gives a crap? You shouldn't do that, and don't do that. So don't do that. You shouldn't do that. It's unhealthy. You don't need to do that. Use what you have. Oh, well, um, this camera that I bought, like it doesn't flip open the screen. So I bought this one because it flips open the screen. Why didn't you get what you needed in the first place? When I was looking at cameras, okay, like I already knew a little bit about cameras. I already did my research. And I narrowed it down to what I wanted and what I needed for my specific use. That way I wouldn't have to go and buy another camera. I was using my cell phone. I was using my action cameras. But that didn't cut it. You know why it didn't cut it? I'm going to explain why it didn't cut it. First of all, none of them had a hot shoe. This is what's called a hot shoe. Okay? There's a cold shoe and there's a hot shoe. I needed a hot shoe on top of the camera so I could attach a microphone to it. What I needed is I needed some ports like these ones, especially one that takes 3.5 millimeter microphones. Like, microphones with 3.5 millimeter jacks on them. Okay? Not one where it takes microphones, but I have to have an extra dongle into the camera first and then the microphone into there. Nope. I needed the camera to have a screen that flips open like this, but that can go like this for vlogging or, when I'm like walking like this. And to go up like this. So when I do this, I can see what I'm shooting. So I needed an all-around adjustable screen. I didn't want something that just had a fixed screen on the back that I couldn't do shit with. I needed something that was portable, that was lightweight. I didn't want to spend over $800. I needed something that had a good generic flash, something that could take, all kinds of lenses from different companies, not just from its own. I needed something that had, a good, menu screen. I needed to have good aperture, good timer settings. I needed something that was going to give me good quality at a mid-range price. Good quality, great features, a lot of features at a mid-range price. And the D5600 was the camera. Nikon did a really good job. Sony has theirs, Panasonic, Canon, Leica, Pentax. A bunch of other companies have them. Samsung, I think some of their older cameras, like when they did do cameras. But Nikon, because I knew that Nikon used to be one of the best back in the day, and they kind of still are. Not just at their high price stuff, but even mid-range and low-range stuff. Mid-range, like mid-price stuff and low-price stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a Nikon. And you can find Nikons everywhere. Now, of course, they're lacking in the app department. Their app sucks. If you try to use SnapBridge, it just sucks. Because they don't have great developers. Who can make a great software. It's basically a software where you basically turn your phone into a screen, a remote screen, or like a remote for your camera, for the photo part, not for the video part. And then it stores the pictures on your phone, and you can put them onto your computer. So my point here is that you do not need Hollywood level stuff, you don't need all this buku great, high level stuff, whatever, pie in the sky stuff to be great. You can simply do it with cheap things, and they will last you a long time. It's not like this stuff is going to break on you as soon as you look at it, so don't buy it. No, that's not how this works. This doesn't work like that. It doesn't matter where it's made. Everything is global now. So the thing is, just when you're out there trying to get a product, when you're out there trying to buy, just get something at low price. Just get something that fits your needs. Okay, yeah. I told you what I needed, and there were cameras at the $5,000 price range that had all that, but I didn't need that. I didn't need to spend that. I needed something at the $600 price point, $800 price point, that you would see at the $5,000 price point. This camera and cameras like this one for $600 to $800, they have stuff that your $5,000 cameras have, just at a cheaper price. It's like how Hyundai created Genesis, which Genesis was created, the car, not the company, the separate company, but the car was created back in the 90s, like 98, 99, became a company, and they're selling it to you for $50,000, and it gives you everything a Rolls Royce gives you. A Jaguar, a Corvette, at $50,000. The best bang for your buck is where it's at. So that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. This Mayonocaster Lite, it does a lot of things that freaking expensive equipment does. And it even does things that expensive equipment doesn't even do. Like, you want to hear me change the pitch of my voice?
Right now, I'm in female voice. This is what it sounds like. Next voice.
This is a male voice. Check this out. It's pretty cool. Next voice.
This next one is funny. It's a baby voice. You should check this one out. It's pretty cool. Next voice.
Robot voice. This one's pretty cool too. You should check this out. There's a bit of a delay when I talk. Next voice.
So now I'm back to the normal voice, pro voice actually. So what I was pressing was pitch. Okay, so you heard female, male, baby, and robot. I know people might want to call it villain, but it's robot. So this is now on effect. Now I'm going to switch, and this is pro effect. Now I'm going to switch to the next one. This is pop. This is what pop sounds like. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I have my headphones in, my earbuds. I can tell a bit of a difference. It sounds a little bit lower, like it's muffled. But this is what it sounds like. MC. This is what MC sounds like. Mic controller. You can hear the difference between pro, pop, and MC. And there is like a difference. You can tell. And this is original. Original sounds like pro a little bit, but it's not like higher pitch. It doesn't have higher tones. It's a little bit just flat, and stuff like that. But it's still kind of got this semi pro kind of deal to it. And now I'm back to pro. So see, some of the more expensive stuff sometimes doesn't even have what the basic stuff has. Oh, and then there's this thing called denoise. Now I'm going to switch off denoise, and this is what it's going to sound like. It's basically noise canceling. So you hear as I'm breathing, you can hear that. You see how now there's just more noise in this room, in the atmosphere. I'm going to turn noise canceling on. So now noise canceling is on. It's kind of like having noise canceling headphones on, basically, and noise canceling headphones off of your head. So it even has like some buttons here, for like laughter, gunshot, cheering, slapping, applause, opening. Let's do laughter. Right, right. And then like let's do like applause. We can even do like cheering, like a bunch of kids and stuff. So stuff like that. I mean, gunshot. Yeah, I was just shot, by the way. Yeah, awkward. I know it's not the cricket sound, but it's like a bunch of crows and stuff. Um, Slapping. Booing. That one doesn't last that long. It's a weird one. And then here's opening. So opening is kind of like, like an intro. So, I mean, it's got cool features for $100 on $110 on sale, $90. I mean, come on, guys. Like I'm telling you, we live in a world today. Okay, in 1990, Honda created the Honda NSX, which had features that a Ferrari did not even have in 1990. It made all the manufacturers in the world start building sports cars with a whole bunch of features. Honda did it first. Heated seats. I mean, all the amenities. You see cars today that cost $25,000, and they come with features that a Bentley or a Rolls Royce doesn't even come with. And you're like, what the heck? So really, paying for higher things that cost more, like buying those things at $1 million, it's not even worth it. Because what are you going to get out of it? You're going to get a nice design and 3 million horsepower. Whoop-de-doo. I can get 3 million horsepower out of a Honda Civic if I strip it bare down and, give it a whole nother engine. Let's see here. All right. I just took my lamp and just put it up a bit. So like you don't need to spend all that money. To me, it's a waste. And to a lot of people, it's a waste. And to God, it's a waste. So just do with what you have. You know? Um, hmm. Oh man. I think we're just doing a chill stream. I might play a game here. Maybe you could watch me play a game. Uh oh shoot. Oh, here's my phone. So oh, so these I have three lapel mics. I have a set of two, which is in here, which is from Purple Panda. Here, let me turn on some light here. Man, that's too much light. And then I have another set, which is Boya by MM1. It's a Boya lapel mic, which only works with cell phones. So it's mainly for cell phones. That one, and it takes a battery. Um, it's powered by a battery in the middle, and then you hook it up to your cell phone, and end of story. These ones are not, and these ones it comes with a splitter connector, so I can do like a dual podcast or whatever. So I can hook them up to my podcaster. These ones, the ones by Purple Panda. I really like them. They're great. I would buy another set. Um, in case I like had like, well, I can hook up three microphones to this podcaster. So one of my buddies basically told me that one of these other inputs, like, um, not my headphone input, not my headphone jack, but one of these other jacks for like playing music and stuff can act as a microphone input port. I guess I would just have to configure it or something. So I actually took off my headphones to hear my voice without the headphones because I'm still got this like cough within me. That's why you hear like a raspy voice. Let me be back real quick. I actually let me get some throat lozenges. Alrighty, guys. This I think will be the last week of a raspy voice. So, alrighty, alrighty, guys. I had to clear my voice a bit. So I'm gonna use these headphones for now. Um, but I'm gonna get like some studio headphones. Um, and stuff like that. Uh, or I'll just continue using these headphones because most people they listen to stuff through headphones like this. And that's another thing. People don't listen to stuff through studio headphones. They listen to them through regular store bought, you know, like just earbuds, or over the ear headphones that are not like from Guitar Center, just like Target or Walmart, stuff like that. Or they buy them online. So like, when you produce content, you want to produce it for, you know, the everyday person. A lot of these studio artists, they have, yes, like, okay, you see right over here. This is is like a studio monitor, speaker. It's a speaker. Why did I get them? I mean, I could have just got some generic PC speakers, which I have in front of my TV. I have these Boston PC speakers, and in my other room, I have the original Gateway speakers that go to my Gateway computer. But why did I buy these speakers? Well, because for me, um, I wanted some studio speakers. I wanted that, sound quality. But when I put my music on from my phone or from my computer and put these earbuds in, it sounds totally different. So when I produce music, I listen to it on those speakers, but then I will listen to it on my headphones also. So I can tweak things. Not too much, of course, because then you can screw it up. Um, ooh. I have no idea if this is going to work. But I want to test something here. Hopefully it's not too loud either. Yeah, just as I thought. I would have to... Hmm. Alright. Now, we're going to give this a test. You're going to hear some stuff. I don't want to make it too loud just yet. Let me test this out. What was I listening to? Oh, okay. Alright, let's test this out. Yeah. Oh, I know why. Okay. sound. All right. Alrighty. There we go. Yep. Okay. That's what I was looking for. Yes, sir. Sweet. Oh boy. Hmm. Let's see. Ah. Okay. And there's a reason why I have this on. Because I can go to YouTube and I can play whatever I want. And oh my god. Hmm. McLaren is building an SUV in 2025. What the fuck? I never thought McLaren would build an SUV. Wow. They're all screw SUVs. No, like I'm serious. I'm sick and tired of this. Oh boy. Like seriously. Fuck your dark thing. Yeah. uh, yeah. All right. So, we still going on? All right. Thanks, Casey Copyright. Why did my camera stop? Oh